Hello and welcome to Recon Game Exploits, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to try a new series and I'm going to call it Life Before COD, as you can probably see from the title, and we're going to be looking at games from before Call of Duty Modern Warfare, as in COD 4 as some people call it, and during this current generation. So it's got to be Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, it has to be a AAA title and a modern military shooter. So Halo doesn't count, sorry guys, sorry Halo fans, but Halo don't count in this one. So there was a race back then as there is now. Nowadays it's Call of Duty and Battlefield, and both have their advantages and disadvantages. I personally prefer Battlefield, as you can probably tell from my previous Battlefield video. But back then it was Rainbow Six Vegas and Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, and I think they're both produced by Ubisoft as well actually, and they're both Tom Clancy, but they did have a bit of a match going between which was the best modern military shooter. There's major differences between two. We're going to be looking at that and the reason why the FPS market changed so dramatically when Call of Duty came out. There are significant differences between Call of Duty and the GRAW and Rainbow Six, GRAW being Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, for some people that didn't know, because we are going back a long way. We're going back to right at the start of the generation as it stands. But let's get on with it. So Rainbow Six Vegas 2 is what we're looking at today, and it is essentially a bit of a SWAT team simulator. It's based on Tom Clancy novels and movies and everything else. It was a very long running series. I think this series originally came out just at the PS1 era, but was mainly a PC game back then, and it was really in depth, and back then it was ridiculously hard and difficult to deal with. Rainbow Six Vegas brought the Rainbow Six games right into the mainstream market. It was a lot easier to deal with than its previous iterations, and it was so action packed. But the main difference between Rainbow Six and say the Call of Duty that came around the time, this is Vegas 2, so this came out the same year I believe as COD 4, and it just didn't make the mark. Basically, I'm going to talk about the campaign. The campaign for Rainbow Six Vegas and Vegas 2 was very tense. You was constantly worrying about what was going to happen around that corner in that room. If you literally just walk around the corner, even if you strafe around it like ready to shoot, or just rushed into a door, that would be it. Most of the time you would die. This game hits you so hard, the bullets have such an impact, and when you die it comes out of nowhere. You'll get indicators, and it's generally indicating where the bullets are coming from for people who don't have surround sound systems. That's what those little red triangles are you might be seeing on the screen now. But when you get hit, you are lucky that you don't die. Your health does regen, but your health is so minute that unless you get hit, cat, not the time, go away. RG Kitty making a triumphant return. Yeah, if you get hit, unless you get like slightly clipped, you are gonna die, unless you're wearing body armor. But you know straight away when you've been hit, and it makes you so tense and constantly on guard when you play this game. If you lose your guard for a second, that's it, game over, restart and previous checkpoint. Checkpoints were a godsend in this game. Whereas if you go to Call of Duty, campaign was filled with loads of set pieces and cutscenes. It was chocked full of them. Basically they went for an action movie stance on the whole gaming thing, whereas I believe that Rainbow Six concentrated a lot more on the core game mechanics. It brought some new stuff to the table as well. Rainbow Six Vegas was not necessarily just a first-person shooter, but it was a third-person shooter also. It was a hybrid of the two, because when you go into cover, because unlike other first-person shooters where you arbitrarily duck behind something using a crouch button, other movement techniques, this one actually had a pin-to-wall mechanic, and it was really intuitive because you were only stuck to the wall whilst you was holding the left trigger. As soon as you let go, you were free, and it made it very quick, very intuitive, really did snap in there. But it also, when you went to cover, it pulled out of the first person view and brought you to third person, and I haven't seen that on a game before or since the Vegas series of the Rainbow Six World Universe, whatever you decide to call it. The character models even today look very good. The only thing that lets this game down really is the textures and sometimes the AI. Now the AI, don't get me wrong, was very, very good especially for its time, and they still pose a huge challenge. You'll see a lot of my deaths at the end of this video. I'll add those in for you just to show you how hard these bullets hit on this game. The AI would sometimes glitch out. It didn't overly happen all the time. It weren't one of those things that happened every 2 seconds and broke the game. It happened every now and again. It was quite amusing, to be fair. Every now and again you come around the corner, you'll see an AI just staring at a wall waiting to get shot in the back. Or another one which you'll see in this video is I rescue a hostage and she sort of tags along for a little bit. But at one point, I'm hiding behind the wall. I go to poke out to shoot a guy on a light machine gun, and she's just standing there in my way. And little things like that can be frustrating. It is also quite amusing. But those are the only letdowns to this game today are that and the textures. Really, it still holds up. The combat is very CQC. You don't go hopping around the world like you do on Call of Duty. You are stuck in Vegas, and weren't very varied in that respect. But the fact that it relied more on dynamic gameplay rather than cutscenes and set pieces, I think really made the campaign better than anything COD has had to offer in recent years. Especially with the fact of breaching a door. On this game, you command your squad and you can tell them stack up against that door, and then you can flank around, use a snake cam, and mark targets for them to kill and attack from 2 different locations at once. You can send them to throw a flash in there, whatever, and it's all dynamic. There's no slow motion. If you cock it up, I guarantee that one of your guys or you are going to get killed flat out, or hostages, whatever the situation may be. Whereas in Call of Duty, it would be a set piece where the guys will automatically stack up, they'll automatically open the door, and it will instantly go into a pre-canned animation and slow motion, and it will be over in about 2 seconds, and it's the same every time you do it. On this game it's different. Every time you entered that room would be slightly different outcome, and I thought that was amazing. Lastly, there is a feature in this game which separates it from anything that came before or after it, and that feature has been requested for heavily by COD and Battlefield fans to this day, and that is full character customization. This weren't just to create a class mode. This weren't just something where you customised your weaponry. You can do that still in this game. You can put sights on, lasers, silencers, high capacity mags, you name it. But this was something a bit more special. It was the fact that you could customise your character's clothing and face and skin colour, male or female, everything. And it weren't just clothing either. You could put armour on your character, and this armour made a difference. This armour would protect you from bullets. Some people say, oh, that gives you a major advantage. It really doesn't, because the armour only does a certain amount. It might allow you to take a hit or 2 more, but it slows you right down. The fact is, there was a trade-off whenever you put armour on your character. You'd lose mobility for the heavier the armour was, but if you pick light armour or no armour at all, you'd have next to no protection as well. And it was incredible. You could pick a number of different camos, and as you progressed in the game and gained more experience, you'd unlock more and more sets of attire and armour that you could put on your character, as well as guns and equipment on top of that. Now, this has not been featured on a game since or before that I remember, where you had that much customization over a character on a multiplayer, co-op or single player game. And the thing is, with this game, it wasn't just a fact of showing off what you've unlocked, and you'd actually see your character every time you play whenever you jumped into cover. So you could see how you customise your character and how well they looked, and the characters I've been using on the gameplay, the characters that I customised with the bare minimum basic unlocks that you get at the very start of the game. This has only been the second mission, and it was on medium difficulty. It just shows you how much of a challenge this game is when you see the deaths that occurred at the end of the video. There was a lot. This game is well worth checking out, even today. If you haven't already, you can literally pick this up, British money here, sorry for the American fans, you can literally pick this game up for around £5 now in any shop and high street. Honestly, check it out. It's got a multitude of multiplayer game modes. I don't know if competitive multiplayer is still active on the game, but I remember it being very good back then. It was a lot different to what COD's like now, obviously, and co-op is still amazing. In fact, there's a video coming up soon where I play Terrorist Hunt, taking turns with my mate Howard and my mate Dave. Again, Howard from the Monaco video that you might remember. And basically, we try Terrorist Hunt, where you got 45 odd terrorists spawning in gradually, and then there's us, just 2 of us. But anyway, that's all from me today, and that's why I think Rainbow Six was better on the campaign. Obviously, I will talk about COD in a future video and why the FPS side of the industry changed so much. I'll be delving right into that in another video in this series, so look forward to that. And next time we'll have Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter for you. But yeah, thank you for watching Recon Gaming Exploits. If you like this video, please let me know. Try something a bit different for me. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.